And these are the cash inflows and the net inflows or the benefits for project B. Both of them have the same rate of return. The initial expenses for project A is higher, and so are the benefits, or so are the inflows. So we need to now calculate the NPV. How do you calculate the NPV? We calculate it using this formula or using Excel. In Excel, you're going to do the NPV or calculate the NPV using all the inflows, which are D9 through H9. And for this project, it is going to be D17 through H17. And you're going to use the same rate of return, 15%. And you're going to add the initial investment of 700 and 400,000 for each project. And that brings the net present value to be 54,235 for project A, and the net present value for project B is 31,253. So if you compare these two projects, the first project is NPV is positive, so you're going to accept project A. The second project, NPV is negative, so you're going to reject project B. You're going to go with project A only. Okay, so that's how we calculate. I'm going to upload a tutorial for how to calculate NPV in Excel, so please go through that, and that will give you an idea of how to do the NPV in Excel as well. But I've described this pretty much in this slide, but I would like you to go through the tutorial as well. The examples of strategic objectives are to capture a larger market share, to make it difficult for competitors because that's where you get the competitive edge, to develop an enabler product so that you will have more profitable products and your company will be more profitable. And also, the strategic objectives could lead to a core technology that can be used in the future projects as well. The strategic objectives can be also to reduce dependability on unreliable suppliers and to prevent government intervention and regulation as well. So these are some of the strategic objectives the companies might take. Then we talked about two different qualitative models. One is called a checklist model, another one is a multi-weighted scoring model. So in the checklist model is pretty simple. You use a list of questions to review potential projects and determine their acceptance or rejection. But this can be very biased because it depends on whether the person likes a project or likes the champion of the project, those kind of things. So it's very political and biased. But it allows flexibility because you can use it across the company. But it does not include the value of the project. And you cannot compare it with other potential projects simply because of the biased nature and all that. So checklist model, nobody uses. Multi-weighted scoring models are useful. Multi-weighted scoring models use weighted selection criteria to evaluate project proposals. I'm going to load one video and I want you to take a look at it. And this is from my own book. I have written a book in project management, which is pretty much used for the graduate portion of the project management in Roosevelt. So all the graduate classes use that book, and it is used by about 51 different universities around United States. So I'm going to have a video from that book, and the one that I'm going to show you is the scoring model that we did when I was with Honeywell. And that is a well documented, well robust, very good scoring model. And Honeywell still uses this. Honeywell is one of the big companies in this country. They use this now, even now. So I'm going to upload the video. Please take a look at it. So this is the second video that is outside the book. The first video is the NPV. The second video is a multi-weighted scoring model. The checklist, of course, has got various things that you can work like, but we said it is all biased and it's not used in most of the companies. The multi-weighted model is good, but the one that I've showed you is much better, much robust, and please take a look at that video. Deciding whether the project fits with the organization's strategy is part of the project classification. You have to select a good model. If you want to choose a qualitative model, then the weighted scoring criteria that the video that I posted is pretty good, because it gives you everything that you want, including the risks that are going to be in that project. So you're going to anticipate certain risks. That is important as well. That is where this weighting scoring criteria is much better than just the NPV. NPV gives you the cash flows and all that, but it does not show you the risks, because if the risks take over, the inflows are not going to be there. So the NPV may be wrong. So you need to use both the quantitative and the qualitative models to make sure that the project is correct. Okay, so I would use both quantitative, like the NPV and all that, and then the qualitative way, which is the multi-criteria scoring, which is called a scorecard. I'll use that as well. I'll do both of them and then decide on the project. So how do you solicit the projects if it is from outside? You use what is called a request for proposal. So you make some requirements, the initial requirements of a project, and you send that requirements to various contractors, and those contractors will return their quote and their proposals, and that is called request for proposal process. And based on various selection models or various selection models that you have chosen, you can select by ranking those proposals. How do you rank them? You can rank them in terms of feasibility, whether this project can be done, in terms of potential contribution to strategic objectives, whether this project aligns with this company's strategy, whether it gives you positive contributions, and also whether it is a fit within your company. So you reject or select or accept the projects based on the selection criteria, and then you prioritize the projects. Usually you involve senior management to prioritize projects. So the screening process that we have talked about basically is the proposals from the project are taken into consideration. If you need more information, it is sent back to the person who originated it to get more information. You evaluate, a team, including upper management, evaluates these projects or project proposals, and then some of them get rejected. The accepted ones are given, or the selected projects. At this time, a project manager and the team are assigned to develop detailed implementation plans, and the team evaluates the proposal with the implementation plan. And again, if you need more information, it's returned to the originators or the management to see, or to others who are champions and anybody else for more information. It might get rejected again here. And the accepted projects are taken into consideration. The first thing that, once the project is accepted, a project charter document is written and it is given to the project manager. A project charter tells you, this is the project, this is a go ahead project, let's start working on this project, and this is a project manager. It gives you all those information. So the project charter is the first step towards the project, and the project is initiated after that. Okay, some projects are held for resources. As they get resources, they're going to be, again, a project charter is going to be written, and the project charter is issued to the project manager, and the resources are assigned for that. This is how the project screening process works in most of the companies. And there are different ways of doing the analysis. There are ways where you can go with saying, hey, it must meet the impacts, what impacts it creates. These are the must objectives that we want. These are the objectives we want. These are the must objectives. This is the definition of the impact and all that stuff. And using those, a weighted score can be done. But I think the one that I uploaded, the video that I uploaded, is much better, so please go through that. So when you manage the portfolio system that we discussed before, senior management input is essential, and it provides guidance in establishing selection criteria. And the senior management input is important in the selection criteria because they understand the strategy of the company and how the project should be aligned to those strategic intents. They annually decide how to balance available resources also, and that helps you as a project manager to understand your project. Government team responsibilities are there to publish the priority of each project, ensure that the selection process is open and free of power politics, evaluate the progress of current projects, and it scans the external environment constantly to determine if organizational focus or selection criteria need to be changed. When you want to balance the portfolio for risks and type of projects, there is a classification scheme. The 4 basic types of projects, according to Matheson, are bread and butter projects. These are evolutionary improvements to current products and services. This is a must-have. Pearls represent revolutionary commercial advances using proven technologies. Oysters involve technological breakthroughs with tremendous commercial potential. And then you have white elephants, the promise at one time but no longer viable. So they establish 4 types of projects, and many companies try to look at it in this way as well.